The evolution of FPV.
Evolution.
It's come a long way. What, has it been 10 years now that FPV's been a thing?
It's been longer. What
Definitely
year is
longer
it?
than 10 years. 2025 right now.
It's been maybe like, I don't really know when the first people, whenever people were doing like airplanes and stuff. Probably,
Who was the first person to first-person view something?
It's probably more than 15 years. I think before 2010.
Because we gotta think planes were before drones.
Right.
So people were FPVing planes.
Drones was probably like 2010, 2011.
Really? 2011? There were
I think
drones?
so. Maybe.
What,
I'm pretty sure
when were
I
you
found
born?
them in like 20.
I was born in 2004. Bro, I was in the second grade. I was just exiting the second grade.
Yeah, that's
Second
the
grade.
problem. See, the age kicks in. But I mean, even at, I can't say it was back that. I can't say I remember back that long. But I mean, what was going on back then?
Not a whole lot.
I love it.
I'm pretty sure I started drones in like 2013. I think I posted my first video in 2014.
Okay.
And when I got into it, you could watch every FPV video that existed on the internet, and you'd run out. So there wasn't a whole lot.
You would just run out of videos.
I think
It
I
wasn't a whole
remember
lot.
back, like watching, when I first got into it was the F3 Expo. Was it the F?
Yeah, that was already a couple years into it.
So how many years? What year was that about?
That was. What year was that?
F3 Expo was like 2015,
I think that was
2016.
2015.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's before. That's like right around the time. Like I got in right after that, a little bit after that, and that was just amazing to me. I was like, oh,
Yeah, it was rough in the early days. It was hard to even buy a quad.
Well, you couldn't
there
buy
was-
a quad. You had to build.
Well,
build
right,
parts.
but to even buy the parts,
Really?
because there was not a lot of like the first thing I heard is someone said you got to look up Blackout FPV.
I've heard of
you've
that.
heard of that?
I've
Blackout
heard of
Mini
Blackout.
H. You ever heard of the Blackout Mini H quad? Yeah, that was like super popular,
we've
and
flown a couple of. I've flown one.
there was not a lot of
Horrible.
places you could get it, and everybody wanted it at the same time, so they're always sold out all the time.
Interesting.
So I found like a knockoff sort of design kind of from a Canadian company called a Minion, and that was the first thing I flew. But yeah, you
A
couldn't.
Minion?
Yeah.
So
What year? What year is this now?
I think like 2013.
2013 still.
Yeah.
So look what that's evolved into. Like think about it. Before you couldn't even get the parts. Now you can get it.
And you couldn't get
anywhere.
everything.
Now I Amazon
Yeah, I
props.
was
They'll
about
be
to
here
say,
next
you
You
morning.
couldn't get
Amazon.
everything from one place either. You had to like scatter it out all over the place. Like
And hope that God that you put it together worked right and it worked.
Yeah. The video systems were like straight up from security cameras. The cameras was like a PCB with a lens stuck on it. Have you ever seen
PCB
those?
with what stuck on it?
With a lens stuck on it.
I-
There was no
board
like
cameras, what they
board
call them, right?
cameras, exactly.
Board cameras, yeah.
Yeah, we started with that. Yep.
I didn't go back that far. I think I came in when the Fox Shears and all that stuff was going off real nice.
My first camera was when run cameras were really big.
Yeah.
Analog, boy.
Yeah, I
That's
guess
the biggest jump.
right,
Video.
video.
Like I always, when I started flying, I was like, why is this so terrible? Like this has to be better. Like I just couldn't fathom that we had flat screen TVs. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
visuals, as in your TVs and houses, cars, everything like that was really good. So I really didn't understand why this was so bad.
Yeah.
And that was the
That's
only
so
part
funny.
of FPV that I thought was lacking. Like you just can't see. Like,
Yeah,
you can't
people who
see
come
shit.
into FPV and just skip over the analog thing straight to digital are pretty spoiled.
Oh my God, lucky.
Pretty spoiled.
So lucky. Do you remember seeing trees? Like, but that also changed.
Not seeing trees, you mean.
Not seeing
Yeah.
trees, and that also changed like your whole flying style of how you even flew, because you were barely seeing things. You're
Yep.
like, oh, and that's what made it cool. You were like, oh, tree. And now it's like I'm like looking like, oh no, I can see the ant hanging off the side
Right.
of the leaf,
Right.
like that third tree over there. So I mean, that's definitely made it a lot easier, and we can go forever.
Sure. I mean, I guess
can go a lot further now.
in between. So when I started, it was like 2018. What's the gap between 2015 and 2018? Because I started and analog was already good. Like I can fly bandos, fly stuff like that. Like what's kind of in between there?
The gap, that's like when I think FPV was kind of built. because that's when like the Atlanta crew got really big,
Okay.
and Rotor Riot was started. Like that's all those years basically.
2015 to 2018.
Yeah, because 2015 was Drone Nationals. That was like the first big event that brought a bunch of people from different states together. You know what I mean? That was a big
Yeah.
deal. It's like the first time that like a lot of the big pilots met each other. And then 2016 they did Drone Worlds and they went to Hawaii, but that one was like kind of
I heard about that.
that one didn't go so good. And yeah, F3x Expo was in there, and just like a lot of, you know what I mean, like kind of defining moments were in those kind of years, I feel like. And then me and Drew met each other and started hanging out in those years and started the Detroit scene.
That's when I got into it. That's like 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
When I started watching your guys' videos.
Vortex and Drib
The
running
old
the
school.
streets of Detroit, wrecking everything.
Wrecking everything.
One smooth and slow, one smooth and fast.
I don't know, I was definitely not as smooth as Drew.
You were just fast.
Just faster.
You were just fast.
I'm still fast.
You still fly really fast.
I like to go fast.
I thought his camera angle changed today, but I guess it didn't. He's just like, ah, ah! It's like,
It's fun to go fast. I
Yeah,
used to
the-
race, that's how I started.
but
You
so
started
that's-
off racing.
That's
Yeah.
another thing is that everybody used to want super high angle. Like people
Yeah,
just
I used
wanted
to
go
fly
fast
like 50
as
degree
hell.
angle.
And then that just changed.
I met Drew at a race.
You met Drew at a race?
Yeah.
That's
because
hilarious.
It like FPV was not established as a thing that you do. Like you would never ever just randomly bump into another FPV pilot. So like
Yeah.
the only people didn't just go out and freestyle yet. Like most people you find this drone and nobody you know has ever heard of drones. So you get on the internet and you look for groups and like the only thing that people ever came really together to do is race. Or it was kind of a joke. It was like 3 pool noodle gates that nobody could even go through, and we're really just there to meet each other and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just to find somebody that's also into the same thing that you're into.
exactly.
So I guess back in the day, the only real way to make friends was to like just actually go to events. And like,
Yeah, because there was no like Facebook groups yet.
that's what I was
right?
about to say. Like,
Exactly.
How'd you figure out
It was
about these friends?
meetup.com, so I found it.
Meetup.com?
Yeah.
That sounds sketchy. That sounds really sketchy.
That's like Tinder for drone guys.
Meetup.com. Bro. That sounds really sketchy.
You're such a pervert. What would you? What do you mean it sounds sketchy? It's a meetup. You don't know what a meetup is? Like a car meet? Like we're gonna meet. Because he said it sounds sketchy to meet up. Why? It's only sketchy if you're doing
That's crazy.
if you're doing some kind of
Dying.
illicit activity, then maybe meeting up is bad. But
Anyways,
What are you doing? Your meetup group.
we're just trying to meet up with fellow drone people.
Yeah, always
It's
be
not
careful.
that-
Vet the person that you're going to go meet. You never know. Always meet in large groups. You know, just always be smart. There still are crazy people in the world today.
The link
so.
that he got sent for the Austin crew was a meetup link.
that is true.
They're still using meetup.
So, okay, so you met Drew. Was
Yeah.
this pre-Rotor Riot Drew?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay.
Haven't you ever seen Drew's first video?
No.
Drew, you started off super timid. He was like, his first shot is like him in his room. He's like, so I was thinking I would like make a vlog. Like, I helped Drew like kind of have confidence. I'm like, no, you're doing. Like we work together. Like you know what I'm saying. That's what it was
Yeah.
cool to have a buddy, because I was always scared to like go out and fly bandos by myself in Detroit.
As it should,
Right,
yeah.
and he would do it though. So that's kind of how. Because we met up at a couple of races.
Okay.
Like I saw him a few times, but then I saw him like posting clips in the Facebook groups of like going to the band. I was like, oh, I want to like actually go to cool places and fly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's when we started hanging out and doing that, and he started like vlogging like basically right away.
Gotcha.
And I don't know how long it was, maybe like a year or 2 years, and then I don't know.
So I guess
Chad noticed him.
at this time, what were like the popular drone components that people were using? You know, like what was like the gold standard?
Definitely. I forget what it's called. What's that FR Sky radio everybody used back
Oh,
in the day?
QX7,
No, older.
X9D.
X9D.
I still love the X9D. I think the
It was
ergonomics
like-
are cool.
Oh, that's hard to remember. I feel like at that time there was just a million different flight controllers. You know what I'm
Nice
saying?
32.
Well, it depends on what time we're talking about. If we're still going back on the early days, there was like one flight controller.
So I guess let's put it like, what's the earliest you can think of?
The earliest
yeah.
is the Naze 32.
And didn't that use like
The
a
earliest
Wii?
that I know of
Clean
is the
flight.
Wii.
Was what?
Is like that's why that's where it really came from, is the Wii nunchucks.
Gotcha.
And I don't even, what was it called? I don't remember. It was Wii something. That was before my time though. But that's how it first got started. Is they took the accelerometers out of those Wii nunchucks and somehow turned that into a.
Do you know who it was that kind of like founded that? Was it the blackout guy?
I'm not Bardwell. I don't know at all.
We don't
I
know
just
FPV
know
history.
that much.
We're
And then I know
qualified to
like
talk about it, though.
CC3D was like the other board. There was basically CC3D or
CC3D.
Naze 32.
Okay.
And there was like one video on the internet of how to set it up.
Who made the video? Bardwell?
This Mocha Boy RC.
Mocha Boy RC.
I
Is
remember
he
that.
still around?
I remember that to this day. I have no idea. We'll have to look him up. Link in the description if you're still out there. Thanks for making that Naze 32 video. Everybody had to watch it. It was like pins back in the day.
Yep.
Like it had, you know what I mean,
Yep.
header
Starter
pins and your
pins.
Like
ESC.
plane-
You would like
plane
plug in
pins.
your ESCs. Yeah.
Do that for RC planes still.
Then immersion RC video transmitters, definitely popular. Board cameras in the
Tramp.
beginning. The Tramp.
I remember the
the Tramp. For a
Nope.
long time, you're either a Tramp guy or a Unify.
Yeah.
I went from the Naze 32 to the Schizo board when the race, when
Race
Race Flight
Flight.
first put that out, but I was still flying on angle mode on the Naze 32. But when I bought the Schizo board, I didn't realize that it didn't have angle mode.
Oh, it didn't even have. What do you
Not in
mean?
the very beginning.
Oh, okay.
It never had it. So I had to. That's how I learned how to fly
Acro.
acro.
Yeah.
It's because I couldn't. They didn't have the option.
So this is like 2017, 2018.
I guess, yeah.
Who were like, I'm curious, who were like the popular pilots around this time? So it-
Schizo, Steel,
Yeah.
Stingy.
Atlanta Crew.
Stingy was coming in like
Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy.
any other people besides Rotor Riot people?
Well, that was kind of what Chad did with Rotor Riot. Is he like grabbed the top
Sharpoo.
people and put them together? Charpoo,
Maddie
Matty
Matty
Stunts.
Was Metal Danny a name I should know?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay.
That's funny. I don't know how you remember that.
I remember there were some Rotor episodes like in another country. And they
That
brought
was
out this
like
guy.
those days when you could consume all the videos.
Gotcha.
In that era, Metal Danny is one of the ones you're going to
Okay.
see.
Luke Bannister. Is that
Definitely
a name
Luke.
as well?
Yep.
Yep. This
That
guy's-
guy actually
he
went
knows his
crazy.
stuff.
Yeah, Luke Bannister.
He filmed some stuff for Gran Turismo, I think.
He filmed a lot of stuff. He's actually like sponsored by Rolex.
He
and
won
all
that
kinds
big
of stuff.
Dang.
Dubai race.
Yep.
The
For
Dubai
like
race was
100
what? Is
grand
that
or
a long
something
time
like
ago or
that.
recently?
That was that was probably 15 or 16 around that same
Okay.
time.
Supposed to be the most paid prize funds for drone event.
What was it? You know?
I think it was like 100 grand, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It didn't
It was like
work
a
out to
huge
what it was
prize
supposed
that's
to.
spread out amongst various different things, like $1 million or something. I think there was some controversy
Gotcha.
if everybody actually got all their
mean,
money.
yeah.
There was money paid out.
Yeah.
I don't know if it
I
was.
don't know how much it was,
Yeah.
I don't know.
but it didn't pan out the way it was supposed to.
Gotcha.
But at the
Yeah.
time,
Did
it
you
was
go
like
to that?
no, that was like a big, grand, elaborate thing. That was like so crazy. They had this
Yeah.
track that like moved, and so it was wild.
Luke Bannister was young at that time though when that was going on.
Yeah, he was probably like 14 or
Yeah.
15. And he won a few big events. He was just like crushing it for a while. Yeah, Luke
Yeah.
was definitely a
Huh.
name. A lot of racing was going on too. There was Sean Taylor. I don't know if you remember.
I know that
yeah.
name.
Yeah,
Didn't Alex and him have some feud?
probably. He
Was
was
it-
intense, and he was on a streak for a while. He was the guy to beat.
Yeah.
And then once
Yeah.
he wasn't dominant anymore, I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while.
I think from what I've been told, basically Sean had his run, and then Alex kind of took over from there.
That's what it.
Alex had his run, and then
That's what it
Evan had his
looks like.
run.
Yep.
Yep.
Everybody has their time.
That's what we're learning.
Everybody.
It's always like
Yeah.
a 3 to 4 year time frame,
Right.
or shorter.
Unless you're Steel, he's just
That's your Steel.
he's just rocking it strong forever.
Yep. Long live Steel.
Long enough Steel.
He's an interesting man.
Long live Jared.
Jared.
This guy. That might have been the crazy. I looked at him like, I don't know.
We were wondering if Steele's real first name was Steel.
It might be
Jeff was like,
Jared.
I think it's Jared.
I might have hallucinated that memory, or I picked it up from somewhere. I'm
That
not
might
sure.
have. He definitely did hallucinate that.
sometimes that happens.
I mean, I didn't say anything's wrong with it.
Cool. So now we're at the 2017, 2018 time. I got in FPV at 2018. Corey, you're around that time as well, right?
I gotta look at my video. I gotta look at my
No,
video.
you got into it before that because you won the 2018 Rampage Freestyle contest.
That's right.
So you must have been flying for at least.
You won the very first Rampage Freestyle contest.
That was
Is
when that was when he started to pop off.
Gotcha.
Yep. I forgot about that. That was
Yeah.
2018.
So you must have been flying in like
Yeah, so-
late 2016
yeah,
at the latest.
about 2 years.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
That is crazy. No,
Yeah.
thanks, Jeff.
I didn't know that. I just learned that.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was when he started his momentum basically off of that.
Yeah, that's when everything started rolling. I started doing the back.
That's when you started getting like products and stuff
Yeah.
and like
Yeah, those are good times, boy.
Yeah.
Your boy was killing it.
It's pretty sweet.
Did you ever see that cool video that Rotor Riot did with like higher production value, the like bot grinder presents thing? That was he was in that too. That was cool.
What was the name of
It's
that?
almost like a show. You never seen
I
that?
didn't see that one. No.
You had to have seen it.
If you haven't
It's like
seen it, that might have been the best
Philadelphia
production
Corkscrew.
ever.
You never seen that?
It was I know like there's a video titled like Baltimore's Hometown Hero.
No.
Corey Tapp.
No. It's
No.
called. This was in Philly. Oh my God, what is it
He
called?
went. Yeah, him and Zorro were in it with Bot Grinder. I can't.
Chapper
remember.
I guess
came,
I gotta- I gotta go
Chapper
watch
came
that.
to Philly.
I think it's called Bot Grinder Presents or something. It's like
Yeah.
the
The
Philadelphia
superpower
Corkscrew.
looper.
Yeah.
The
But yeah, he was in that with him.
Yep.
I gotta go check that video out after this.
That was a good video. Like
Yeah.
I don't think it got like anything crazy, but
No, I didn't get as much attention as I would have liked to see, but it was cool. It was like high production value.
Gotcha. That's cool.
it's just crazy that you think back on all the things that like
Yeah,
we
it's been
did,
a long time.
You know what I mean? We've been on so many trips and so many things have happened throughout those trips, but I gotta go back and look at the episodes, I guess, and remember all of it.
Yeah. So I got in around 2018. I got in right before the 2018 quad camp in Hesperia, California. I started literally because the high school that I went to, like I had to audition to get in, and my mom, as a you did a good job, got me the FPV drone kit basically. It was some Spectrum stuff, Blade Torrent 110. I had a Ishin EV800D box goggles. And I feel like I got in at a time where FPV, like the gear started to get pretty good. Like I was flying a Brain FPV Radix with
That's a good board.
a Hobby Wing ESC. I had a Tramp and I had the Skyliner frame as like my first 5-inch setup. And like that was on Betaflight 357, which I feel like that was the first Betaflight that flew like good, right? That was the last one before 3.4 or 4.4 or just 4.
I don't know.
I flew
That's
Flight
definitely
1.
deep into the game. All those components.
It's just the weird things that I
Radix
remember.
board, yeah.
Yeah, it's my setup in 2018 that it was like, I paid a lot for this. Skyliner frame, Brain FPV Radix board, Hobby Wing 45 amp ESC, IRC Tramp VTX, Lumineer Axie, and then a crappy Spectrum receiver because I was on Spectrum at the time.
Nothing was wrong with Spectrum. Spectrum was fire.
I know he flew it. You were
Yeah.
sponsored by Spectrum for a minute, right?
So I guess
and
Spectrum,
Drew flew it too.
Yep.
at that time it was good.
I had the IX12 with the crossfire in the back. Woo!
I always loved the ergonomic of Spectrum radios.
Yeah, they feel the
It's
best.
still the best. And I guess maybe back then it was fine because we were trying to, the analog reception wasn't great, right?
I just couldn't do it because FrSky had like $12 receivers and they were tiny. So if you're gonna have like 8 drones, because the
That's fair.
Spectrum ones are like 35.
Well,
Yeah,
that would-
How about the price point? Do you think it's gotten more expensive or cheaper?
way more expensive, but
Yeah.
only just because of
The
just
quality?
No, just because of world problems, just things going up, inflation and
I
tariffs.
just
and
never
stuff
thought
like
it was really that expensive, but I guess it just depends on, like, I feel like
It's mainly the
Still-
stack, and that's just an important part. Between the stack is the electronics are more
I
expensive.
feel like I paid like $60 for my Radix back in the day.
Well, that was a premium one that was like
Gotcha.
oddball, and that's USA made board.
Even back then?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
average flight controller was like 25 to 30,
Gotcha. And what was
and
like,
the ESC was about the same.
what were the average boards?
No, they
Like,
weren't the same. They had individual ESCs.
but it's still the same.
Yeah, like
because
$8,
they were like
$9,
8,
yeah.
anywhere from like 8 to 15, depending on
I
what
think my
it is.
Speedix were like 13.
So
I
you
have the
see-
individual.
yeah, so it used to be more like 60 to 80 bucks for a stack. Now it's like 150. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
Motors haven't got that much more expensive. They're pretty much the same. And then it's just the fact that we went to digital. It's not like it got more expensive. You're just getting a
Better quality.
better thing that costs more.
Yeah.
So it is more.
Class look better now.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, you got in after the H-frame fad.
Yeah,
They are ugly. I'm sure you've seen one, right?
Yeah.
That's what that blackout is.
They are ugly.
They are ugly.
Yeah, I guess if I know FPV was like already getting good, because if it was like difficult at all, I would have dropped it.
I mean, I'm sure you probably still you had it way more difficult than people do have it now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I was always like grassroots, like I need to solder everything. Everything needs to be soldered. Now I'm like, let me get something that
Let me
plugs
get some
in.
MR30
Yeah,
So
plugs.
how long after you started was the quad camp?
I started of February in 2018, and the quad camp was in August, I believe.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Or wait, was
Within a couple
Yeah.
months, you had a whole like group of people come through. Like I
Right.
said, when I first started, there was one video.
Yeah.
So, like if I wasn't understanding that guy, there was no other place to go. Really, I guess you could read the forums. A lot
Yeah.
of things was forums back in the day. It's all
It
grown up
definitely
now.
makes it easier. So getting into a hobby and not having anybody to learn from,
Right.
versus waiting 5 to 10 years for that hobby to flourish, and now you have like tons of people to learn from.
Yeah.
That be tricks, that be building, that be anything like that. Like definitely makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Huge difference.
Because the kids now are getting really, really good, really quick because they
Yeah.
have so much information out there.
Yeah,
There's
or
so
they
many
could just
trick
buy an
tutorials.
awesome, ready to ship Rotor Riot quad.
Yeah, you
what
could
I've been
do
flying
that.
this whole trip.
Hey, mine's been running pretty good too.
Mine too.
Sweet. So we get 2018. 2019, I feel like was kind of a stagnant year, or was was the first DJI digital released in 2019 or 2020?
2020.
I feel like it's
I don't
really.
know the exact date on
Or
that.
at the end of 19, I think.
I think it was at the end of
I
2019.
think at the end of 19.
And it was trash, and I still
'Cause
loved
19
it.
is when we
What?
moved down to Orlando.
It was trash when
I thought it
when I first tried it. You couldn't go more than like 20 foot from yourself.
Did you have prototype stuff though?
Yes, but it was
Okay.
beautiful.
No, I was
Remember
there
that?
the day you tried it. You were loving it.
Yeah, it would.
But now you're saying it's trash compared to what you can do now.
I'm just saying, like,
You could not get any range
no,
off the very
for
first
from
one.
analog to that, the range difference was like, okay, I can see really, really well for 30 feet.
Are you sure? Because the very first area I had,
I am 110%.
We were-
but this was
positive.
prototype stuff still, because
I mean, it had to have been
You're talking about- I was there too, right?
Yeah,
We're at
yeah,
that school.
at that school.
We were freaking out how good it was.
Like,
he's
you
just-
couldn't go far.
He's talking about how he's thinking this weekend how far he's been flying, and
Yeah.
now looking back and saying how bad it was. But at the time we were.
but it was like the same as analog though, because
No.
at that
No.
school we were getting pretty bad range.
You can go super far. You could still go far with analog. You could go further. This you couldn't go like 20 to 30 foot.
Yeah, and at,
But
the,
it was
at that
crystal
time
clear.
it wasn't as good at like coming back when you get a little bit closer.
was this
It
in a
like-
video or was this?
I think we
Did we do
I
the
think we did
video on
film that. Or it was like when it
I'm gonna look.
You don't
I'm
believe
the
it?
very
We were
first
there.
video that
I was-
anything DJI FPV on the Rotor Riot channel should be that day of us flying at that school. I guess that we were about up to the transition into digital.
And that changed the game.
That changed the whole game.
Because I just couldn't believe it. Like, I mean, like I said, it was the range was horrible, but the picture was so good that I was willing to stay in 2 foot from the bando to be able to fly like that. Like that type of clarity.
Yeah.
So did firmware updates make that better?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Over time.
Okay, so it was there was no.
Still, we're
ever
using the
hardware.
original air unit
That's
a
what I
year
was
and a
about
half
to say.
later. So it was firmware updates.
I
that
guess
made it
the
better.
very first time that I ever flew it, I guess it was probably 6 months in then,
Hmm.
because I remember it being like way better than analog, like
mean,
range.
I do too. Like, all range wise, I don't know.
Once it came out, it wasn't bad. But see, in the beginning, DJI was on top of it. We were getting so many updates,
Yeah.
like back to back to back to back. So I mean, that definitely helped out. And now it's just amazing. I think that's the biggest leap and revolution of FPV.
Yeah, the
So
digital
end
video.
of 2019, early 2020.
It's video. You couldn't see anything before.
Yeah.
Like they could give you all types of additions to those fat sharks and 1,200 milliwatt VTXs, and they was like 2,000 milliwatts. But it still wasn't like.
That did make it frustrating. I hate analog video. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
You learn to like, it's like the Matrix. Have you never seen
Yes,
it?
yeah, I have seen the Matrix.
They're talking about like after a while you don't even see the code anymore. You just see like blonde, red.
Yep.
It's like that.
That's
After
true.
a while, those little things, because that's what's annoying. It's like constant little blips and like
You just gotta get used to it.
Yeah, and over time you learn to ignore it. But it's so much nicer to just have a steady
Oh man, you
video
just plug
feed.
in. It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good. I can go forever.
He's loving that long range.
I'm telling you, it's crazy.
So I guess now we get to 2021, and 20. I don't even know what happened. I feel like that is the biggest jump because 03
Yeah.
took so long to come out.
Yeah, it was a couple years, huh?
It's kind of funny how like we're going based off of timeline. It's like the video system quality,
That's honestly the only thing that's really changed that much.
right?
There was we didn't really mention that at some point in time, the 4-in-1 ESC, like you kind of
Took
mentioned
over, yeah.
Yeah, that was a jump where like
People used to hate
a huge
those.
change. It used to always be individual ESCs, but other than that,
That's just become simple.
it's a lot of the similar products. There's a lot of little nitty gritty details and everything that you could go on and on and
Yeah.
on about. But as far as big things that are huge changes,
It's a video system
video system.
and Betaflight.
I'm
It's
trying
not
to
really
think,
good.
video
Betaflight's
system.
gotten really good.
I mean, if you bought quality motors are still the same now as they were before. I feel like I don't think that's actually
The motor's an
changed.
old invention. It's been around a long time.
Yeah.
I
Hasn't
guess
changed that much.
propeller technology, like the blend
Glass,
of plastic that we use.
Yeah, that's
that
a
was like
big
a
one.
2017. I don't remember. 16, 17. I'm trying to remember when polycarbonate props came out.
That's what we still use now.
Right, exactly. Because that was a big deal. Because it used to be insane. Any little
Boy, you
touch,
can bend them
anything,
bad boys back.
it was over.
Keep
To
flying.
be able to crash and keep going, that was a big jump. I don't remember exactly when that
Turtle
happened.
mode.
Turtle mode's another one.
Turtle mode changed the game.
When was that?
I have no idea, but it worked real good.
I don't
People used
know.
to use 3D mode, right, in the early days instead of turtle mode to get it flipped over.
I don't know about that. Maybe. I don't know. But I know it was possible because if you think about a BL heli, what is that?
Yeah.
BL helicopter, right?
That just clicked.
Yeah, that's the first time I saw a BL heli was like
Get out of here.
way
I'm
back
not
in
joking.
like
What did you think it meant?
I don't know.
you just never even thought about it, right?
It.
Yeah, so like
BL
that's what
helicopter, okay.
it was originally a firmware for helicopter speed controller, so that's why it had 3D mode in it.
Dang.
This guy. Heli?
BL heli. I can understand. You just
It just I
you
just
just
never
hear it. You don't even think about it. Yeah.
the
And then you
rest.
got pretty much 21 to now.
I feel like there
It's
hasn't
still
been that
just
much
video
of a-
improve. It's like now it's just incremental video improvements.
No, equipment's
I s-
gotten better.
I still feel like okay, it's like this has become a video equipment topic. 03 from the original area, it was like that was a way bigger jump than even 03 and 04.
Yeah. It also took longer.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
2
03 to
years.
04 was only like 2 years. I think it was like 3 to get to 04 or
Yeah.
something. Seems like that.
Then when did let's see? So the KISS gear started becoming popular in 2022. So I knew it was popular way in the beginning as well, right?
Yeah.
Still
But it-
made that popular.
It's kind of always been popular from the beginning, but in the very beginning they had individual ESCs and they were notorious for lighting on fire. So
And it was
if-
expensive.
when they worked and they always flew good, but yeah, that was the thing you'd be risking. Are they going to burn up a lot?
Gotcha. I think 2022 was when like FATEC G4 came out, and that
I
was
think
like the
so.
first like, oh, this KISS stuff isn't blown up, right?
Oh no, they stopped the fire stuff a long
They
time
did,
ago.
okay.
Yeah, I just remember in the very beginning, and they were more expensive, and they blew up a lot.
They were definitely more expensive.
Yeah,
And then 2023 feels like it was just yesterday,
right.
because there's not been any major jumps in
this is true.
technology. Right?
Stop
I
yawning.
would say shifting the technology is kind of not on the drone. It's on the gyro flow, the real steady.
I guess 2022 and 2023 is when like FPV and cinema
Yeah,
Went
that
crazy.
became the new thing.
and what?
Became the new thing more like
Yeah. Because
the
we're able
thing
to
to do rather than flippy floppies. It's go find a cool subject and make something look
And follow
really
that.
high end.
I think Johnny was the first person to kind of do that, right? And
I think so.
I remember
think he was the first one where it's like, how is he getting his GoPro to look
He
like
did it good. He did it good.
And then he's put in, I think he was probably one of the first people to put like a Lumix GH5 on a drone to get like a better quality image.
He did it good.
I don't want
He
to.
did-
I don't like to make declarative statements. I don't know, but he was definitely early in doing the cinematic stuff. Like, who knows? I'm sure Jim
the
Bob
dude had
did
the
it
pop-
too. Like, I don't- Jim Bob.
Yeah.
He had the
Somebody's probably
capability
done it, but
of
yeah, I
getting
think
to like
everybody's
6
doing it.
spots too.
And then Finky also made it really popular.
And he was early too?
Not really early,
Okay.
but like I think early in gig work and cinematic stuff.
I remember the first Finky video I saw was that one he did with the longboard.
Yes.
Yeah,
that
that's pretty
one
iconic video.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was talking
I
about.
don't even know what video that is.
You probably know if you saw it. You'd be like, oh yeah, I've seen that, but it's been a couple years.
Yeah.
It's very good.
It's just very good.
It's good for even now, today's
Yeah,
standards.
it's very good. Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of the more lane people go into now.
Yeah, it's
Cinematic.
Yeah.
kind of what we planned the whole trip around,
That's what, and that's what this trip was.
right? So if you haven't seen any of those episodes, go check them out. We're
I had-
chasing mountain bikers.
I had fun. It was a good one.
Yeah.
I like chasing stuff, especially good stuff.
Right?
You know, your subject has to be good.
Where do you guys think it'll go? Where do you guys think it'll go?
Yeah, let's hear from them.
Comment down below.
Yeah, we know the history.
Yep.
You
You know
guys
the
let
future.
us where not only where it will go, but where you want it to go.
Yeah.
You know, what's FPV to you? Because it could be something different for everybody. I like to freestyle. He likes to do cinema. He likes to go fast. Like
I like to go
everybody
fast.
has.
Jeff just likes to go fast.
I just want to go fast.
It's not even a racer.
I just go fast for no damn reason.
Right in the
Where's the fire, son?
So let us know how you guys feel.
And let us know what we missed, because there's
A lot.
I mean, we just covered
Fill in the gaps for us, because I know there was a lot.
we covered 10 years in what, 25-minute
Yep.
video.
Give us
There's
one
stuff we missed.
one thing from every year
Yeah.
of FPV.
Exactly.
Yeah, fill in the gaps and give us your origin story. How'd you get into the hobby? I think it's time to go to bed. It's getting
It's-
late around here.
Bye.